This is Rock Leach with Social Fire, and we're going to talk about the medical emergency that happened at the Potter's House Church over the weekend with Bishop T.D. Jakes. We're going to talk about this in some areas that may not be discussed on a lot of other channels, so you don't want to miss this video. Now, Bishop T.D. Jakes, while bringing the word Sunday, had a medical emergency and had to be rushed to the hospital. Now, what I like to do over here on Social Fire is that when a story breaks, we're not going to be the first ones to break that story because there are so many other things that come out of a story that we like to capture. And so we're not going to be the first. So it's not a rush over here to try to see who breaking the story first, because sometimes breaking it first can be misinformation if you haven't got all the facts. And so we're looking at this, and I am from Texas, and I've been to the Potter's House, heard services there. My daughter was even involved in ministry there, in their dance youth ministry there for a little while. And so, not to say that I know more than anyone else, is just to say this can be a level of personalness to me. And so, looking at Bishop T.D. Jakes preaching the word Sunday, and sat down and had a medical emergency. And I want to get into, with pastoral care, with pastor's aid, many ministries have these kind of things. Everybody was a little late to the response. And I'm glad they got there, but there was not a recognizing this up on it happening. And we're going to get into those kind of things because I don't know. It looks like this may have been a stroke or something to that nature, but let's talk about it. And we do remember when Bishop Marvin Winans had an episode himself. And this is something that happens in the pulpit. When ministry, emotional stress, maybe not eating right, high blood pressure, this can attack our African-American pastors. And I won't even just say African-American pastors, it attack pastors in general when we have our duty, responsibility more to the church than to ourselves. Now, is that right? I don't think that's right, but let's get into this. All right, let's take a look at this, what happened with Bishop T.D. Jakes. Now, I want to show you this because this was something that it looks like his wife, Serita, knew something was going on, that he was off. She knew it. And the beginning of the message, and this is something that's not talked about much, but the beginning of the message, he said, "I feel you praying for me." Now, I want you to look at her because this wife, Serita Jakes, looks like she's very passionate about, yes, I'm praying for you. Sit down. Please don't go any further because she knew something clearly was going on. But I want to know what you think about it. Let's look at this. And I am going to stay within fair use, so please miss me with the comments about you're stopping the video too much. We've incorporated a lot of other things in this with fair use to just try not to stop it so much, but I'm still going to stop the video because I have to offer commentary. Let's go.
May not give you the victory for this fight. I can feel you praying for me. I know.
Now, see, the thing about it is that he says he knows, and he feels a praying for him, and she's speaking in tongues. I appreciate this, but, should you keep going? That's the thing here, but let's go.
I know, that's why I'm hanging over in this corner. I can feel it pushing me in the back. I can feel it pushing me. I can feel it pushing me in my tongue, in my head. You got to have somebody who will pray while you fight. That's what a good woman looks like. That's what a good woman looks like. That you don't have to take her temperature to know whether she got your back or not. I can feel you pushing me. Was a weapon from—
Now, I'm bringing this up because, and there are some other videos that we need to look at as well. It is very important for pastors, one, to have a great wife. And I'm going to share this with you because this is a dynamic that's not being talked about. Whenever you have a large ministry like the Potter's House, you have pastor's aid, you have pastoral care, you have all of these different things that are there to help in case of a crisis. But I want to share this with you. None of them can ever take the place of a good wife. I'm going to go ahead and say that because here at the Potter's House, you had to know that if somebody was discerning or seeing that something's not right with Bishop T.D. Jakes running up there, they either help it, it's either going to help or it's going to hurt, right? Because if he's in the mindset that I'm okay and you running up on stage to stop him, you can look like you're the devil to other people. This just the devil want to stop the word. Let's be real, because the church will over spiritualize things. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about that. We can over spiritualize things. You're stopping the word from the man of God. Listen, uh, that's why in a lot of cases, it has to be the first lady. This is how I operate. The first lady is the one who can release them. If you feel like something going on, maybe the protocol is to go to the first lady, but clearly Serita Jakes knows something is going on here. And let's go ahead and get to the next part. So she was praying for him massively, I mean, strongly. And that's why I'm grateful for the wife that I have. Jess would have just stopped the whole thing. And us as men have to be responsible for listening. Don't be hard-headed. Everything ain't the anointing. Sometimes it's you. We ain't gonna talk about it. Sometimes it's you feeling yourself, people cheering for you. And sometimes it's hard to leave out of that to care for yourself. Some men, and I'm gonna go here. I know sometimes I'm just gonna go here and say this. Some men, we can get hard-headed and feel like everything else is the devil. Start blaming our wives and saying she's the devil when she clearly, who know you better than her? She know you. She know what your inconsistencies are. She know when you're not doing well. So I used to get bothered with my wife, who is a medical professional. I used to get bothered when she always tell me, you need to drink water. You need to drink water. But you know what? At the end of the day, that woman know when things are not going well for me, and she knows what's going to help me. I would be like, drinking water, what is, no. I can't be like that. Men of God, if you're like that with your wife, quit being like that with your wife. She's your help meet, where we get that meat from in the Bible, where it says, translating it to metered. She's our balance. She helps you and strengthens you. And what Bishop D.D. Jakes is saying in this video about a good woman, you can't put a value, a price on a good woman, a good wife, I'll say. Now, I'm going to say that because there are good women, but you're upgraded when you turn into a wife. And when you're that wife, you are one flesh. She knew something was going on. But let's go here to this next part of the video I want to share right here. Let's go here. And this is what ended up happening in this whole situation with Bishop T.D. Jakes.
I miss you. Have you ever gone to the hospital to visit somebody and you thought you was going to encourage them and they encourage you? That's what preaching is like. You think you're giving out something, but you're getting back more than you gave.
Now, I want y'all to look at this, and I want you all to start looking at something, whether or not he's having a stroke, because it's right here in front of the people. And just for y'all that don't know, if it's a stroke, there's symptoms to recognize if it's a stroke. It's called FAST, F-A-S-T. F is the face drooping. One side of the face may drop or feel numb, or a person, ask the person to smile. That's what you should do, so you can know if something is going on. If the smile looks uneven, you know it's a problem there. Arm weakness. Now, we did see, I want you to look at this video, and you did see some arm weakness here because he dropped the mic. He didn't drop it, but he dropped his arms, and then he looked like he was trying to lift his arm. I want y'all to look at all of these things. Arm weakness. And that's one of the things that you do when somebody's possibly having a stroke. You ask them to lift their arms, raise both arms. One arm may drift downward. That's a sign of a stroke that's going on. Speech difficulty. Now, I don't know, might have been a little slur here or some different things like that, but I want you all to pay a close attention to that, because a person may be unable to speak or repeat simple sentences correctly. And that's the S part of the FAST, fast, and the T is time to call 911. So it's really only 3 symptoms here. That last one is a T, which is time to call 911. And let's look at it, see if you recognize those signs there.
I love you.
Look at his arm. Look at his arm.
Now, Lord, let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. O Lord, my strength, my Redeemer. Let them go in peace.
He never said amen. He never said amen. Let him go in peace. Balance. is going, trying to lift his hands, fighting to lift his hands. Now it's clear here that something's going on because he looked around at them, but he couldn't move his hands. He couldn't talk. I mean, it's something that's going on. And then the problem, and I'm gonna get into this right here. Then the problem was there were too many people up there. You know, that's the thing about mega ministries, is that everybody want to look like I ran to my pastor, I ran to my leader, and then you end up creating a level of chaos because it's too many people up there now for one man. There needs to be a crisis team, and I don't know if every last one of them people. Let me back it up to see how many people. Let's go ahead and finish this so I can go back. Back up. Now you hear all the chaos up there. I heard back up. You can hear all the people talking because they're around the microphone, and the PA team didn't turn the microphone off. You know, with all them people up there, see, even with the Potter's House being as big as it is, as organized as it is, they have areas of opportunity to get better, and nobody ever plans for a medical emergency. His mic should have been turned off when all those people got up there, but because we don't plan for these things. And I want to go back to see how many people were actually up there. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here come more people rushing in. I mean, it was a lot of people up there. Now I want y'all to listen to the mic. Listen to the people talk. Take your time. Back up.
Everybody begin to pray. Come on, stretch your hands this way.
Listen, the reason that we are bringing attention to this, because this is something that happens that nobody plans for. Nobody plans for a medical emergency. And then those who do have a plan think that they'll never have to use it. Now, in this instance right here, we're praying for the Potter's House. We're praying for Bishop T.D. Jakes and Serita Jakes. But I just believe with that previous video that she did, she knew something was wrong. And I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care how educated you are or what position you are and have in the church. You'll never be greater to that man than that wife. I'm just going to go ahead and say she has a level of discernment that can only come because she is the wife. She knew something was going on. And I guarantee you this might have been a case where Jakes was like, well, I'm going to go ahead anyways, just keep praying for me. Pray that I have the strength. Well, no, why don't you sit down? Why don't you sit down and let somebody else? I'm quite sure the Potter's House is full of people who can talk. And many times this happens. That men of God will dedicate themselves to the people more than they will to their own health. And so I want to know ultimately, what do you think about this? This was a lot that went on at the Potter's House, but we got to go back. We got to go back to what Lady Jakes was doing when she was praying for him. She was, listen,
may not give you the victory.
Look at her face. She knew you preaching, but you need to sit down.
For this fight, I can feel you praying for me. I know.
She was seriously praying for him. So clearly there was something that was going on. And I'm quite sure at Bishop T.D. Jakes' age, they probably do his blood pressure and different things like that at the back to know if he's well enough to be okay. I mean, at a certain age, those kind of things just probably need to be happening. I mean, vitals and different things of that nature. I know young pastors who do these kind of things. It's necessary to know if you need to preach today, you need to let somebody else preach. You need to take care of your body, know where your body is, know what your vitals are, what your numbers are. And so I know that may be a little extreme for some people, but that would have been a sign not to go forward with this message, or to go forward in a different posture. You don't need to preach the whole time. By the time he got to the end, he looked exhausted. And I'm going to share this with you. I am at the age, I'm 49 years old, and I stopped years ago hooping. When I say hooping, I'm from the Pentecostal church, so we believe in hooping and going down through there when we preaching, we're going to do that. But at a certain point, I had to realize this is too exhausting, at the end. And does it really mean that I have not preached because I did not hoop? So I changed it. I want to be effective throughout my whole message. Every now and then when I feel it, I might give you a few seconds of it. But I am not going to do no whole 10 and 15 minutes of just hooping. That is something that we have to consider. And preachers and men of God, even women of God, y'all need to consider how you are preaching. You might need that. You get to a certain age, you just need to change how you can still change how you're doing it, because you can still be effective. You can still be effective. You can preach a mighty word and not have to break a sweat. Let's be real. It don't say nowhere in the Bible that Jesus had to grab his ear and hoop and change keys and jump over rocks and stuff. I'm just saying. I want to know ultimately, what do you think about it? Get in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Let's go.